Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. We're going to get 3 cards. Let's take a deep breath together. This is a collective timeless reading. 1, 2, and 3. Let's have a conversation. The world at the bottom of the deck. Let's see what we have coming in here. Oh, wow. All right. Well, you are either working on or you have finished some sort of a challenging cycle where you may have felt like you couldn't understand with the Two of Swords what was going on behind your back in the etheric. As intuitive people, when you know, right? You feel like something's off, like something's amiss. It's kind of like when you leave the house and you're like 25 minutes away and you're like, oh my God, did I leave the oven on? Did I leave my curling iron on? And in this case, yes, you did. So I feel like right off the bat, what I'm getting here is this is an acceptance reading. This is radical acceptance, because this is radical. This person that, or ideals that you have begun grappling with or have closed a door on might have even been radicalized. Like, let me give you an example for me. Like, I came from a Christian home, and there was no saying no. Let's just keep it real concise. There was no saying no. There was no no. It was just a no. Every thought I had, every expression of myself that I was, it was just a big old no. Not allowed. No, right? Some of you might have been in a relationship with somebody where you weren't allowed to have feelings. You weren't allowed to have opinions even. You had to keep yourself in a very tight, constricted box. I feel a very constricted feeling. On my last reading, we had the Knight of Pentacles, and that was a more challenging reading. I think I titled it "Who is this person?" because there was the same constricting energy in the last reading. So it might be this person that you're moving away from, or maybe you're this person. Because whenever there's a devil, there's always a bigger devil behind that one. It's like those Russian dolls. Once you uncover one aspect of something, it's like you open it up and there's another one. And there's another one. And another one. And another one. That's what this world energy is. It's very complex. It's very detailed. And I feel like for some of us here, there was some sort of intensive process that led you down the rabbit hole of self-discovery. So maybe you started off on some sort of a healing journey, or maybe you came to the tarot to figure out why you felt like something was going on in the background that you couldn't see. Like you just couldn't put your finger on what was going on. You went down this rabbit hole and started to see so much more than you bargained for with the World card. I also have a reading where in the thumbnail it's the Fool all the way to the World, and we talk about that. So that could be a nod to that as well. Very interesting reading, talking about like a forerunner energy. So I'm not going to get too deep on this, but I do believe that there's a group of people that are kind of testing a new sort of like healing method on this planet. And some of us have gone through this and come out the other side. And like, I'm not saying that we are mice in a lab running through a maze, but I'm also not saying that we're not. it's not quite like that. It's much more natural than that. It's not so clinical and lab based, but it's something like that where some of us have, in a sense, our souls volunteered to go through this process to test out this healing modality. So for some of us, so that we can teach it later on. But if it's not teaching it, it's just for your own self. Let's open these cards. See what else we got going on here. Card number 1 is the 10 of Swords, yes. There has been, I'm hearing, a bitter end. So for some here, this was not one of those things where it's like, wow, I just feel so like healed now. Like this was amazing. It was an amazing retreat that I went on. I had this experience. I had this like Kundalini awakening and it was like amazing and like everything made sense. It wasn't like that. It was like you might have felt like every bone in your body was filled with cracks, that you like for me a couple years ago, back in 2020, 2021, I had such a bad back injury and it came out of nowhere, that I couldn't walk for like a straight year. And I hiked every day. I went on like a rigorous 2.5 mile hike like pretty much every day. I'd go down to the water and to the stream, and I would just like meditate and stuff. And I actually weighed more than I do right now. But I was in shape. And then all of a sudden it's like I bent over to get something out from like the mini fridge that was in my old apartment when I used to live with Poppy. And it was like I remember I had an issue, and it's like for some of you, this is an analogy. It's like you realize something was wrong, and then you just like kept going anyway. It's kind of like walking on a broken ankle. Because I remember I was walking through Mohegan Sun. It's a casino, and I was staying there overnight, and I couldn't even make it down to the car from the hotel room. Like I couldn't even like walk through the hotel to get to the parking garage. Like I was unable to move, literally. It was so scary, and it also felt very degrading, and it felt, I felt immobilized. Maybe some of you have felt immobilized through this healing process, and maybe you didn't know that that's what this was. Maybe you're just like, what is happening? Like, why is this happening? Like, I remember, and then I moved into a 3rd-story apartment after that place, and it was, 3 stories up, and I just remember one time I was on the ground, and I literally could not get up. Like, I thought I was gonna have to have, I don't know. It was just, I don't even know how to put it into words. It was so disheartening. It was so scary. Like, I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to walk again. I didn't know if I was going to have back surgery. And then over time, slowly but surely, I recovered. And it was a long, hard process. That's what I'm seeing here with the Ten of Swords. So this might not even be like a person that you got away from. I think for a lot of us here, this has been a healing journey where it's like an aspect of us had to die in order for us to live. I'm seeing that. It's like how Jesus said, a seed has to fall into the ground and die in order for it to live. So it's like there's an aspect of us that had to die. Could have been an ego death for some of us here. So that we could live. We could really live, and we could taste all the tastes and smell all the smells and feel all the feelings. Because I think for some of us, we didn't realize that we were actually in this state of like numbness. Actually, I'm going to do this. This state of numbness where it's like it could be the most beautiful day. You could be looking at the northern lights in the sky, which I did see recently. You could be looking at the northern lights and you're just like, And it's not about being ungrateful. It's like there was something inside that either was, I'm just hearing this crack sound again and again and again. It's like a crack. It's like if somebody is playing a sport and then something happens and you literally hear that snap and everybody's like, oh my God, like running over to the person. It's like something might have cracked many years ago, or it was like something got fractured and then over time it got like worse and you kept walking on it, metaphorically speaking. And this could have just been something kind of like a low grade sound in the background that just went on. Could have even been something from childhood here that even caused you to betray yourself in situations. Betray maybe is kind of the wrong word. It's kind of like disregard yourself, just discarding yourself, treating yourself like trash, like not caring about your feelings. Oh, this is just gonna happen again anyways. And I'm a 12th house stellium, and a lot of the themes of 12th house are like this sort of theme. And I've been through a lot of situations that have it's made me really have to look at myself and be like, what is wrong with me? And I'm not saying that that's not a good thing to do. We should always be fair, balanced. We should always zoom out and be like, okay, what responsibility do I need to take in this situation? But there is something to be said about it's like you always take the blame. You always are the one who's wrong. You always are the one who has to take accountability for other people's actions. They effed up. They betrayed you. They did the wrong thing. They talked behind your back. A lot of swords here, which is communication, thoughts, words. So a lot of this stuff you couldn't even prove in the 3D world. It's like that's probably what led you into deeper esoteric themes to begin with, to try to figure out what is going on here. Excuse me. You're always going to be hearing sounds coming through, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I have stomach issues, so 3 Virgo placements, intestines, what are you going to do, you know? There's something to be said about getting angry. This is something a therapist taught me years ago now, when I was in like one of the darkest times of my life, when let's just say I was, she was like, if you drink with this medication, you might not wake up, and I drank with it anyways, let's just say that. This was back in my darker days where I just didn't care if I lived or, well, how this guy looks. That would have been back in like 2016, probably 2017, before I moved to Poppy's house. I had like a big handle of vodka, or maybe it was Fireball, and I would just drink it. And I was taking medication with it for my nightmares. I actually was going to therapy for nightmares, believe it or not. Very Jungian. That's what actually started me looking into Carl Jung, trying to understand dreams more. Because there was stuff that was so suppressed, and this is the message for a lot of us here. It's like some of us have stuff that's so suppressed that we didn't even know anymore the end from the beginning. Like, we lost the plot. We lost the origin point. We're like, we don't even know what is causing this unhappiness or feeling, honk honk, I'm not a doctor, but maybe like depression. You know, I'm hearing like all of those like symptoms on the like medication commercials, like may cause loss of appetite, may blah blah blah, may cause anyways, I'm not gonna get into my opinions on medications. I've taken a lot of them, and I will just say that don't really know if it helped me, but that's for another day. That's not for me to say. I'm not a doctor. This is long drawn out, and this is something that I think some of us have been searching for answers for a long time on certain things that we just haven't had the answers to. And I think some of us have felt kind of like we're walking zombies, not really understanding what it's all for. And I'm not saying you're out here like depressed, unhappy. Some of the happiest appearing people in the world are the saddest. So don't let appearances fool you, right? I'm hearing like Latin coming off of this, and I can't put it into words because I don't really know. But I'm hearing like Latin. Like et tu Brute is one that I do know. Like somebody could have truly stabbed you in the back in a literal sense, like again and again and again. And it's almost like you were so numb. I'm seeing somebody put a knife through someone else, and it's like you're not even feeling it. It's like a numbness. And what I'm getting is that I think that you, and you know, who this is for, I think that you misinterpreted this numbness as strength. Like, oh, nothing can hurt me, nothing can harm me. But this is the state that you were in, and this is not the state that this is not your life. This is not your life. No. No. That's what I'm getting with the justice card. It's like an indictment. It's a karmic ruling of some kind. Yeah, and it's coming through. This is a broad thing. Again, I'm going to go back to explaining this as a new healing modality. I just keep seeing the Galactic Federation, so whether you believe in that or not, I do. But there's something, it's like, it's a higher level of intelligence. It's a new, like, healing modality that some of us have undergone. And this is also, the blindfold always to me is a nod to initiation as well. And with the World card, it's like this shows who you really are. You're not just some like average Joe on the street. You're somebody who's qualified to go through this rigorous course. And some of us, I know for a fact, volunteered for this, believe it or not, so that we could walk out with integrity this path. It's kind of like those Google Maps cars that drive around so that they can like map the area. Like you have to drive through to map it. Like you have to go through the course to map it. This is looking like a map to me right now. I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map. So for some of you, this has been like since you were a kid. You're the map. You are the blueprint. Yep. You are the map. Yep. Yep. Just a little longer. Just a little wave of springtime. Just a little brighter. Just a little something to pass the time. It's almost over. It's nearing the end. It's almost over. It's nearing the end. Cause when it fell hard, and when you didn't know where to go, you kept believing. You kept choosing to see what you were shown. Wow, I haven't done that since my ministry days. The old channeled intuitive song. Ooh, yeah. That I know that I don't know. I don't know if that I used to do that all the time, and I used to do it live all the time in meetings as well. With my parents, I would take the microphone and I would just start singing, or I'd go up with my guitar and I'd just start like jamming and playing intuitive music. And something in me died when my heart broke, when my deconstruction happened back in 2021. This is just a personal experience for me. I know you have your own, so think of your own right now. Um, um, and then when I left my ministry behind, and the aliens came to me and spoke to me and said, you're not going to be doing prophetic ministry anymore, which basically, for those of us who are in the tarot world, I'm sure a lot of us are aware of like the other side of things, which is like the prophetic words, which is basically a Christian version of the cards without cards, if that makes sense, channel messages. That's where I was before I came here. Then the archangel, really, I should say, appeared to me and spoke and said, we don't want you to do this ministry stuff anymore. We want to move you over here. And I didn't know where here was, but I just followed the map blindly. I went through a rigorous process of deconstructing my faith. Would have died for it. Set it aside. Anyways, and trusted and believed that I was being shown something that was true and something that was real, and risked my entire life as I knew it for that cause that I was being shown. Had to go no contact with my minister parents. Then my brother Mitch died, 27 years old, of an overdose, and just tragic, you know what I mean? Here I am now, and it's like, this is all, it's like coming around full circle. Like my point with that, saying that was that channeled song coming through. I haven't done that in a long time. It's like something in my heart broke and I didn't want to like sing anymore like that. So that's a really beautiful, full circle moment. I hope that makes sense. I'm sure a lot of us are going to be having these full circle moments where you're going to start remembering past versions of yourself that, it's like, I'm seeing it like this. Like, say there's you, and then there's 4 sectioned off versions of you set in like different corners of the world. Just say. Doesn't have to be that, but just say that. And it's like, there's something about it where these 4 stationed versions of you are coming together into this oneness. It's like you're going to be remembering like the 2021 version of you, and you're going to be like, oh my god, I forgot when I used to channel songs like that, sort of a thing, for whatever your thing is. All right, card number 2 is the Hanged Man. Yeah, this is a state of enlightenment. This is also kind of like, you know how people say the calm before the storm? This is kind of like the aftershock, the aftermath. This is the calm after the storm. I'm very drawn to the calmness of the water back here. Very interesting. I've never noticed that, really. Yeah, it's like, and this is a similar energy. It's a sitting, it's a contemplation. Like, they're not moving from where they're seated, but this is a much higher version of this. This is a minor arcana, and this is a major. And this is a Piscean energy, and this is Odin, when Odin received the runes. So it's like, this is an enlightenment energy. This is light codes. This is, it is an initiation. And at first, it looked like heartbreak, betrayal, secrets. Couldn't prove any of it either because it's all swords. It's like somebody could be like, yeah, well, that's your opinion, or that's your point of view. Maybe they gaslit you out of how you felt, or that something even happened. And it's like that sort of stuff, when you're going through such a high level of pain, and then people are basically saying to you that like you're the problem, or, and again, I'm going back to that point that I had before. It's like, I'm not saying we shouldn't take accountability, that we shouldn't step back and look at the whole situation and be like, wow, did I do wrong? Did I say wrong? Did I do this? Did I do that? But there's also a sense of narcissism in that side, where it's like all we're doing is thinking about, what did I do wrong? What did I do this? What did I do that? It's like we need to just Hanged Man. That's that. It's like a meditation. It's like after all of that, there's a silence and there's a contemplation and there's a revelation, and then, well, let's see what card number 3 is. Card number 3 is the 2 of Pentacles. Interesting how I'm seeing this right now. It's not like this reading is being tied up in a nice pretty bow and it's like we're all going to live happily ever after and this is the end of our pain and this is the end of the process. What I'm seeing is this, because I'm a realist. Is this, okay. Remember how I was talking about like the 4 of you? It's kind of like we're halfway through some sort of rigorous healing journey / experiment / initiation period, where it's like instead of being 4, it's like now we're only 2. And I mean that in a good way. It's like it's better to have only 2 than it is to have 4, because that's showing that the fragmented sides of you, for the sake of this argument anyways, these fragmented pieces of you, you know, the 2021 version of me. Interesting, I pointed to Aquarius. The 2021 version of me coming back through as an example and joining with the oneness of who I am. It's like, and then say another version of me, this Scorpio version of me that went through this deep hidden betrayal that I didn't tell anybody about. It's like I healed that behind the scenes that I haven't talked about publicly. Then that's coming back into this place. And now there's only 2 left now. So now we're going on to this like next leg of the journey where it's like maybe now we're going to do the Taurus Leo thing, whatever that means, where it's like this, it's like they're giving us a little bit of a break, to process, to integrate, to discover. And then it's like we're going to go out again. It's like getting a second wind. And now we're going to run around the planet again, sort of a thing. And go like collect. I'm seeing like that app Pokemon Go. It's like we're going to go and like collect the other pieces. And then eventually at the true end of it all, we will be one full being. And what's next after that? Well, only time will tell. We're going to have to look deeper into that as we do more readings. Very interesting reading today. And then there were 2. I think I'm going to end on that. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. And remember, you can always listen to The Metamystic Show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. EST. And if you want to book up personal or donate to support the show, the info is down below. Until next time, it's been Missy Gordon, The Metamystic here, and I will see you on the next one.